Who's driving? Mila.
Like what?
Mila's driving.
Here's the thing about someone who would be like, you shouldn't record a YouTube video while you drive. Which for any Karens who are freaking out, she pressed record and she set up the camera. So I'm focused, okay, people?
Today we're going to talk about things you need snowboarding.
We've broken this into 4 sections: clothing, equipment, food, and miscellaneous.
Yeah. Okay, so the basics, and you can rent these things, but a snowboarding jacket and snowboarding pants.
Get snow-specific gear. Just even if it's an outer shell jacket and pants. You can rent a lot of this stuff for like $10, $15.
Yeah.
It's not,
but it's well worth it. It's going to make you a lot more comfortable, and it's going to be way more enjoyable that way. Boots, you can also rent those, but some good boots.
good high socks.
Yeah.
They don't need to be super thick, but just socks that go up above the boot, basically. You want high socks, even if they're just like shin socks, do you pull them up real high?
Yeah, my socks don't go totally above the boot. They go at like the same length. They're like crew length socks. I personally wear wool socks. They're still not very thick, but because they're wool, they're warm as if they were super thick socks. So that's how I wear warm socks without wearing really thick socks.
Working our way up the body, there's a few options for the legs in like underneath the actual snow pants. You usually just do leggings, right?
Yeah, I am really picky about how my lower body feels, and I don't like feeling constricted. I usually just wear leggings, and on a cold day I'll wear fleece lined leggings. Lululemon and Nike offer fleece lined leggings.
I usually wear thermal Nike or Adidas tights, which are basically leggings for guys. And then depending on the temperature, sometimes I'll do just those. Sometimes I will do a pair of like basketball shorts over top, just keep my thighs a little bit warmer. And then sometimes if it's a really cold day, I will even layer a thin like waterproof pant over my leggings. That's a little overkill, but I like my legs to be really warm and toasty.
For the upper body, I usually wear like a little tank or cami just to keep my core a little bit more covered, followed by a thin long sleeve. And then I usually have a really thin puffer type jacket, or I'll wear a vest, or I'll wear a fleece zip up or hoodie, whatever.
Yeah.
All of those pretty much fall in the same temperature range for me.
It's above 40, I do 2 long sleeves. If it's 25 to 39, I do 2 long sleeves and a puffer vest. And if it's below 20 or 25, I'll do 2 long sleeves and then like a fleece like this, which is really warm. I can zip it all the way up. And something I want to note is I like wearing quarter zips like this, or just basically things that don't have a hood, because when you have a hood and then also your snowboard jacket has a hood, now all of a sudden you have 2 hoods and it can get really clumpy on your neck. So
right, yeah.
I like having stuff like this.
I have my favorite mask. It's very, very thin, and it magnets to my goggles, which is super handy, and it comes around here, so it covers my whole lower face, and my goggles get the rest, so I'm usually pretty warm with just that.
We both wear in goggles. I think you wear the WM1,
yeah,
and I wear the WM3, which I think are women's goggles, but they're smaller on my face, so I like them better. But like she was saying, they have magnets in the mask, so it's really easy to just pop it up over your face when you get cold and then pull it down when you're not. They also have lenses that just pop out and they're interchangeable, so we'll link those up in the description, but I really like those.
Super, super handy.
Also on your head, wear a helmet. Don't be the guy who's too cool for school and wears a beanie. Wear a helmet. There's plenty of cool helmets out there. Burn makes some really great helmets, so just get yourself some helmet and some goggles, even if you gotta rent them for a day. I think the only clothing item that we haven't touched on is just gloves. We both wear mittens. I would recommend mittens because then you can keep your fingers warm inside the mittens. When you have the gloves with individual fingers, it's harder to keep your hands warm.
Yeah.
Category number 2, equipment. Should be a pretty quick category. You already said your boots, that could be considered equipment. What other equipment do you need?
Obviously, a snowboard or skis. If you don't have them, you can rent them. Don't be scared. The rental places, like everyone that works there is super kind. They love what they do. They just want to be on the mountain like you, and they want to help you out. So ask all the questions you need to ask. Don't be scared. Renting is is honestly a great option until you figure out if this is a sport that you want to invest in.
Because it is a kind of expensive sport.
It's a very expensive
And speaking
sport.
of expenses, something I wanted to give as a tip for everyone is when you're on your way to the actual ski resort, you will find a lot of rental shops like in the town or in the, on the way. Those places oftentimes have better equipment because it's not generic equipment. It's like name brand stuff that was maybe used for a season or two. And also they're gonna have lower prices. If you get all the way to the ski resort, you're gonna get name brand stuff that's ridden thousands and thousands of times every year by a bunch of beginners, and it's just generic stuff that might not be as good, and it's also probably gonna be a little bit more expensive. For 3.
Food is a big one.
Yeah.
Snowboarding or skiing is exhausting. You're using full body strength. We always do like protein bars and
Nuts are great, just like throw
Yeah.
trail mix or a handful of nuts in your pocket, beef jerky sticks, or just little snacks that you can stuff in your pocket. Those are great.
yeah, you have the option to get food from the resort.
But what I will say is most resort food is pretty expensive because they know that they're the only option. So they can charge $22 for a cheeseburger and fries, So if that's something you're worried about, pack a lunch, pack a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, pack a turkey sandwich, something like that.
Okay, so category 4, miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous.
You do want some chapstick.
Chapstick. Depending on the time of year, you either want sunscreen for the sunny days, the spring laps, or you might want some kind of like lotion that you could put on at lunch or something like that.
Yeah.
A GoPro or a camera, but honestly, like your phone is good enough.
great.
We do most of our filming just on our phone. We only bring the GoPro on snowy days or if there's something like we know we want to film with it.
This is a big difference between us, but I like to ride with music. He does not. So I always bring my headphones. He's never brought headphones with him ever.
Here's what I'll say. If you're watching this because you're going snowboarding for the first time soon or it's one of your first times, don't bring music.
Right.
Like focus on learning first.
And
then once you
staying
get
out of people's way.
Yeah, then once you get a little bit better, sure, you can bring headphones. I personally just like to be present in the moment, hear the snow crunching under my board, hear the wind whipping past my face. I feel like when I listen to music, it makes the day go by too fast.
When I listen to music, I feel like I'm the main character of the movie. And it just puts me in a mood, and I have this like whole attitude, and I just feel like we have 2 dogs, and they have come with us on every single snowboarding trip, whether we're in the trailer or we're in an Airbnb, or it's just a day trip and we're coming from our apartment.
But if we bring them with us, they can run around and play at 9 a.m. before you go. When you stop for lunch at noon, 3 hours later, they can run around and play. When you stop for the day at 3 hours later, they can run around and play. So they're getting way more energy out. They're able to play. They're able to be in the snow.
They don't have to hold it for 10 hours.
Yeah.
They're having a way better time. Definitely bring your dog with you. They're gonna have a blast in the snow.
Yep. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions. We will be happy to answer any beginner snowboarder or skier questions. Nothing is too dumb or too basic. And don't forget to consider subscribing. You're a punk.